Let me warn you ahead of time, this video is going to be a lot of static cam, so your picture's not hanging. I'm just talking behind the mic because I want to cover a few things. And this is about the Lectric XP, which based on views and the amount of viewer discussion, it's no doubt that of all the e-bikes that I've reviewed thus far, the Lectric XP is the most popular. Popular and maybe the most polarizing. Though e-bikes in general have a polarizing effect, you either love or loathe the e-bike idea. It's easy pedaling versus cycling purist. That's actually a good idea for a video on its own. Noted. And in my time with the Lectric XP, I've said it was a great bike, but it would be near perfect if it had, and insert a few things, and I've even seen things in comments, and I've merged all that together in a short list, and let me cover them. Hydraulic disc brakes. While the mechanical disc setup on this bike does work fine, the ease and power of a hydraulic setup would make it even better in my opinion. Plus, I think any bike that can go 28 miles per hour and has a throttle really needs hydraulics. A front suspension. That's actually something others started asking for because I'm okay with the fat tires dampening the bumps as they are, at least until I rode a similar fat tire e-bike with front suspension. Noticeable difference. And better grips. And you know, if you're a regular watcher of my videos on the XP series, you'll know that the upright bars and the factory rock hard grips. Now these are replacements I put on Wolf Tooth. I think they're called the Fat Paw. I'll put a link down in the description. People always ask about them. But those rock hard factory grips gave me trigger thumb. It's almost healed up now. The only benefit of this is that I live in Alabama. Managing to get trigger finger in my thumb means that I'm a full-on Alabama citizen. Hashtag roll tide. So I think better grips would have eliminated the issues and the tendon damage. Something like this is even better. Better gearing, at least on this prototype, because the XP does run right at the line of running out of pedal. Recently, Lectric sent me this. This is the 52 gear, or 52 tooth, front chain ring that comes on the factory Lectric XPs. This is my prototype. It only has a 48 tooth. To try to compensate, I installed this shiny chrome 11 to 32, or maybe 34. It doesn't really matter because I never stay in the low gearing. Always the high, but going down to an 11 helped augment only having that 42 tooth, or 48 tooth, excuse me, up front. And I receive a lot of comments from people with the factory XP, so it has that 52 tooth chain ring, but still a 14 to 28 tooth in the rear, saying that they are running out of pedal. So I'm hoping my combo of 52 tooth and that low of an 11 tooth is going to make a big difference. So to me, the XP, great, but my wish list to make it even greater, not that long. Front suspension, hydraulic brakes, better grips, and better gearing. And my wish list was granted, but not by Lectric. I received and reviewed this bike, the Rattan Fat Bear Plus. A similar folding fat tire design with all the stuff that I wanted to see on the XP and even some bonuses. Hydraulic disc brakes, check. Front suspension, check. And that's welcome because with the beanstalk handlebar setup, this is more an e-scooter or stand-up scooter feel than traditional bike. And they help the suspension and the tires out by providing the bike with decently comfortable grips. These aren't hard rubber, they're leather or leather-like material. Nice, comfortable, I don't foresee any tendon damage with these. Gearing. Not only does this Rattan have better gearing, it's nowhere near close to running out of pedal at any point, even going downhill. And that's thanks not only to the 52 tooth chainring up front, but 8-speed gearing at the rear, and they didn't cheap out with the freewheel. This is a Shimano Hyperglide 8-speed cassette, and shifting that, a Shimano Altus. And if all that isn't enough, this has a rear suspension with a shock that has 30 millimeters of travel. It turns out that a dual suspension, even with limited travel on a folding fat tire e-bike, nice. Very, very nice. Other bonuses, a bigger battery. 11.6 milliamp hour instead of 11.4. More juice for more miles. And the IPAS, Rattan's regeneration system, with the pedal assist turned off and going on this bike 14 miles per hour or more, it can trickle back energy into the battery. Now, I thought this would be super gimmicky, but it actually works. I'm getting more miles per charge on this bike than any of my other e-bikes. So Rattan wins hands down, right? I mean, it has everything that I and others have asked for. And it's also something I'm getting asked about daily. Should I buy the Rattan or the Lectric XP? Well, first off, I don't tell anyone what bike to buy. Second, for as much as Rattan got right, the motor just doesn't feel as powerful. Now that's not to say it's bad, it's just not as powerful or as punchy as the motor in the Lectric XP in my opinion. Now some of that may be a setting, and I'm going to go through the computers on both and see what I can match up, and even ask Rattan if there's something that can give it more torque like the XP. And I'll also mention that around the time that the XP started shipping, Lectric did tell me that they toned down the torque or the power off the line to make things more smooth, because mine's really punchy, and some others that have received their bikes have said that theirs are too, so step that up a bit and you've got my prototype. And while punchy does make things fun, it does have its downsides, like if you're trying to turn and start off on a sidewalk, all the power coming on immediately very fast is not always good. There's also price to consider. When I reviewed the XP, it was still on pre-order pricing, which in my opinion was a steal at the time at $8.99. And from what I've heard, Lectric XP pricing has bounced around a little bit, not much, but it's gone up and gone back down, and recently, or well today I looked, and it was $929. The Rattan Fat Bear Plus, by contrast, current pricing $1599.99, so a penny away from $1,600. And many of you have said the Rattan would be more desirable if it was in the $1,200 to $1,299 price range. And I looked on the Rattan site today and I saw they have an odd accumulation of coupon codes. There are 3 or 4 of them, but the max one's $300 off. Now it says that's only good until the 31st of December, and then it goes to $200, and then some point later the $100, but $300 off gets it right in line with what people say they want to pay for a bike like this. Now I haven't heard from Rattan since my review, but maybe they saw some of the comments and adjusted their discounts to match. Either way, they're both fun e-bikes and both affordable e-bikes. And I never tell anyone what bike to buy or recommend anything, I've already mentioned that. This video is kind of a roundup of every discussion question that I've seen or at least received regularly. Because my goal isn't to recommend, it's to entertain and have some fun on bikes and hopefully share some information that maybe you can find useful enough to make your own cycling experience more enjoyable. Okay, let me stop for a second. I'm going to edit this in. This was something I thought about and I'm adding later because people do ask me a lot which one I would prefer, and I think it is fair that I tell you which one I would pick. And of all my e-bikes, I still like the Lectric XP. There's just something about this bike. It's fun, it's punchy, and I will say that everyone that's came into the bike barn and seen all my e-bikes, this is the one that they walk up to first and start asking questions about, and I think that says a lot. I hope this provides a brief comparison and covers most of the questions you might have about these two bikes. More to come on both of these in 2020. And speaking of which, a quick look ahead at what's coming. The next few days, the Huffy Scout review. I know a lot of people are waiting on that. And then some last edits permitting Project Comp, the Schwinn aluminum comp fully modified. And also a full suspension bike from a brand quite a few of you have been asking about, an online brand, and one that sits in some sweet spot pricing wise, right between big box and local bike shop. So comment below, let me know if you're Team XP, Team Rattan, or maybe Team Never E-Bikes. And if you like this video, how about giving it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And everyone, I hope, has that notification bell active so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And also, if you're not a subscriber or a viewer to my Kev Reviews channel, you may want to go check that out. Link should be on your screen because I have some upcoming products like the Squirt brand. They sent some stuff to check out. There's also some Fidlock stuff, some really cool magnetized bottle holders, different sized bottles that work great on these folding e-bikes, and other stuff like new speakers and trying out bigger batteries for the Craftsman leaf blower I recently reviewed. Thanks to everyone for watching. I hope you're getting ready for a good new year and have a great day.